Voice Party. This week's episode is brought to you by All Roads Overhead Garage Doors. Call now, 510-375-8756. Proudly serving the Bay Area since 2002. Also, hablamos español. That means they speak Spanish. Free consultations. You got old garage doors and your haunted garage. You got some important stuff you need to protect, or maybe you live in your garage because this is the Bay Area. You got a whole family living in there. Give us a call. All Roads Overhead Garage Doors. Yeah. What's up?
What's good?
La mera hora.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me today.
Thank you for coming by, dude.
Thank you for coming by.
Are you so you used the La Mera Hora is new, right?
La Mera Hora, this season, it is new. Yeah. So basically what it is, it's a class at SF State.
Okay.
And I've been taking the class for a couple semesters now. And each semester we get the opportunity to either maintain the show we had the previous semester or change the name. Mm-hmm. And so I came from like the beginner class, and that was done with a group. So that was one show, different thing. And then after that I decided to do my own thing, and I was like, shoot the shiz for a bit, filling that out. Yeah, because what I really wanted to do is just kind of had like candid conversations, play some music, shoot the shit. Let's just talk about it, And then after that, I was like, at this point I'm also minoring in Latino studies.
Oh, okay.
So, I was just a little bit more in touch with that, and I was kind of like, how can I kind of merge those two things together? Mm-hmm. And, there's a lot of different things that I care about right now, right? Like immigration and policy and stuff that's going on with that. All the crazy stuff that's going in the news, whatever that be. And
a lot of shit,
right, while also maintaining the entertainment aspect of it and like playing music and
first off, welcome to the Voice Party. Damn, we got into it like quick. My bad. Because I've been curious about La Mera Hora, and we kind of start things very
casual,
very casual.
It's very laid back.
We don't know your name is.
Right.
We don't know who's speaking.
Right.
This is JD with the Voice Party. We got Joaquin right here.
With the Voice
We got
Party.
Phil taking shots.
How's it going?
And then a very special guest, which you already talked about what you do, but tell us your name.
I'm Leslie, and I'm Leslie De Leon, and thank you guys for having me on the show.
Thank you for coming. We got
Sorry
a professional.
that I got on a roll.
I wanted to lube up the pipes,
For sure.
Always use lube.
I come in fast. Yeah.
So you're taking classes for broadcasting. And that's what you want to do for a living.
I want to do broadcasting, production, behind the scenes. Like I see your little soundboard over there. Like I'm over here kind of juiced, So audio engineering. So that's what I'm trying to do.
And then you did mention you're doing the Latino studies right now.
I'm doing minor in Latino studies.
So is that what caused you to? That's kind of why you changed the whole theme of the show more based on because it's a Spanish name now, La Mera Hora. What I was gonna say this. Are you? I don't know if I want to ask you. Are you a dreamer? Are you a DACA recipient?
I'm not. I'm not. I was born here. Okay. But it's
close to home though. Like
it's close to home for sure. Like friends, family, my own parents. So it's like, even though it's not in particularly me, I do feel like I have a duty and a privilege in order to do that. Have the voice for those that don't. So in whatever way I can, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm really into broadcasting, media, et cetera, et cetera. So I was thinking like more so and trying to change that rhetoric and that narrative that's out there in the media. Yeah.
That's, because when I do stand up, like I think about that more. Like I have a response. Anyone who has a voice, you have a responsibility to your people. And like I started doing more material about that, but sometimes it doesn't feel right, so that's why I wanted to do something like this, and having someone like you on, especially since this everything that's going on in the world right now with especially with like how many kids have come up missing in the camps. It's like modern day concentration camps, Auschwitz, with all the shit that's going on, man. Dude. It's that's a heavy subject. It's a lot of this for that you do the show. What kind of feedback do you get from the people that listen?
Well, the thing is, you know, a lot of my friends tune in, and then like I'll Facebook Live it. So a lot of like my tias and like, you know, so it's like I'm not exactly getting feedback that often. They're just like happy to see me like doing what I'm doing, and that's cool. I have constantly said like tune in, you know, if you want to join the conversation, here's the number.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
There's a chat role, you know, and part of it's my fault where I don't, you know, actively advertise like all these things just because school and just busy and all that stuff. But yeah, it's like it's your typical like how a radio would be, except it's online. Okay. So that's another thing. A lot of people like to tune in through like Facebook, but it's like you get a better experience if you just live stream it and you like listen to it. Okay. So they can. You said it's because what is it? KF. It's KSFS.
KSFS. Yeah. So it's not available on the radio.
It's not. We don't have a dial yet. Okay. I don't know if that's in the works, but I know that an app is in the works for next semester.
And that's through the SF State?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they give you like a platform to get on. That's fucking dope, man.
It's cool.
I always wanted to,
So how can, for our listeners at home, how can they hear your broadcast?
So basically you can live stream that at beccamedia.net/KSFS radio. And that's BECAMEDIA.net/KSFS radio. And that's one way you can tune in. I do Facebook Live on occasion. And family tunes in. That's kind of separate, but the best experience is like for sure online. And I do record my shows. I just haven't really found a place to post them yet.
YouTube?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, YouTube. And then I also, me personally, would like to edit that, so it's like a whole separate project on its own. Do you guys put up your like raw recordings straight as is?
So we're on
YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Anchor,
SoundCloud.
We don't talk about the SoundCloud. We used to be on SoundCloud and it was too much of a pain in the ass.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize we were on.
So yeah, we gotta have these meetings more to discuss where we're on, because I don't know how to do any of whatever the hell he's doing. Like it, you know, it's so that's why I reached out to him to get that, because I know it. You know, it's. I mean, I bring in the guests, like I reach out to the people, and I always wanted to do broadcasts. One of the first early memories I got that I like, man, I would like to do that was, remember Wild 94.9 before it was, I think it was still Wild 94.9 when they had the doghouse. Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Doghouse, what? You know, and
with JB and
JB.
What was the name of the dude they used to mistreat all the Hollywood? Right? Was it
Hollywood?
Was the intern? And
it was like Jackass before Jackass too.
It only was on the radio,
And they just had hella fun, like doing this, and it made me like want to do it. Then when I got older, there was this guy called Art Bell. He passed away like a few years ago. He had like ghost stories, UFO conversations with people, and I always wanted to do something like this. And then I saw that you had your show. I guess we met at a Halloween party like 4 years ago.
Back, yeah.
And I remember you posted, and I was kind of like, dude, that's awesome. That's kind of, how long ago was that? Like a year ago when you first did Shoot the Shiz?
Actually, a year ago in September, it was when I first started with like my beginner stuff, and then Shoot the Shiz was almost a year ago in February.
Well, I want to thank you because I saw you doing your thing, and it made me want to do a podcast, and that's kind of what, like, I was like, yeah, dude, yeah.
What?
Yeah. So then I reached out to these guys, like, yeah, like I started with another crew, but then eventually, you know, but just seeing someone young, like in my age range, like at an actual studio, and it's like, dude, I want to do that, because I used to have all these conversations here with people.
That's awesome. And I mean, like, look at your setup, it's lit.
It's all this
yeah.
How's it going? IOP video.
We keep it litter than the sun,
yo.
There you go.
IOP video.
There you go.
And that's why it's important, man, to collaborate with people. Like,
I mean, I appreciate you reaching out. You were like, oh, good, you know, we should collaborate sometime, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, you know. And then you reached out again. I was like, yeah, like that'd be what's up. That's
Come on, hello.
Yeah,
like, it was
I know. It's, you know, right now with school, like I'm graduating next semester, and it's just sometimes, thank you. Yeah. It's just hard to find the time sometimes, you know, like, man. But I know that there's so many things that I want to either start doing, or when I don't have to like read as an assignment. You know what I mean? Like, get me out of here, you know. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, dude, I like, for real, I remember seeing that, and I'm like, dude, like I when you see someone having fun, like we talked about this earlier, it makes you want to get involved with whatever the hell it is, you know. And so you're so they give you an actual studio, and you said you bring in your friends and you guys, like, so what are the main topics that you guys talk about on there? You said, like, what's something that you guys bring up regularly?
It'll be a variety of different things. It kind of depends what I'm feeling. It kind of depends where we're at or what's on the news, or depending, right? One of my first shows this semester, we had gone to Mexico. Mm-hmm. For Baja Fest. We went to go see like Bad Bunny, Ozuna.
Oh yeah.
It was just a big ass party. So we went down there for that, and then I took the opportunity to talk about the trip, and then I talked about like crossing the border, and we did talk about how, like, you know, it is a privilege that we can walk over the border like that. It was like not, you know, so we were just talking about things like that, but also keeping it like light with like the whole Baja Fest, and so there's stuff like that. And I've also come into deeper topics where I talk about like mental health among like Latino community, right? It's like we don't talk about that.
No, dude.
It's hush hush, and you're fine. Keep it trucking.
Keep drinking.
For real,
dude. Yeah,
for real.
I noticed that when like hanging out with you know, like immigrant men, workers. Yeah. You see, I remember I went to a party and there's like stacks of beer, and there some of them, once they get to that point, they open up about certain stuff, and it's like, that's why you're drinking so much. It's and you gotta be a man, you know?
And I think that also as a whole, to, you know, create a better society, it's like we gotta like heal from all that trauma, you know. And it's like it comes like slowly. So it's a couple things that I talk about where it's a little heavy, but I try to keep it light when I'm talking about like whatever's going on, like pop culture wise or music wise, or, you know, some shit that happened with my friends, you know, so stuff like that.
And, you know, it's not just Latin American community where it's a taboo to discuss mental health. It's also African American community as well. And it's a combination of ignorance. Some people, especially in like the lower income urban areas, just don't know what they're suffering from, you know, and some people don't want to talk about it. And it's the same attitude. It's like, oh, you're a pussy dog if you know, you crying? What you crying for, son? You know, because there's this need, especially in the crime-ridden areas, to look tough, to look hard. Otherwise, somebody's going to try to, quote-unquote, run up on you, try to pick a fight with you, try to steal from you. But if you walk around like you're the toughest son of a gun, and not like they talk about it in well-meaning schools, you know, at the high school I work at, during the day we have all these experts coming in and saying, look, your students are suffering from PTSD. Like their parents, their fathers have left the household, there's gunshots every other night. That's not normal for young people it's not a normal environment for young people to grow up in. If you're always in fight or flight mode, then your brain has trouble developing. It's hard to form normal, healthy relationships, and it just reverberates from generation to generation. But the people that are actually affected by it either don't know to talk about it, don't want to talk about it, and it's like, if we could just get these people some help, we could have some healing, you know?
Absolutely.
And the thing right now with what's happening today is, especially a lot of like immigrant kids, immigrant families that are living in the hood already have that trauma also, that the PTSD from seeing all this shit. Then they're also worried about, you know, we're gonna run into ICE and then we're fucked. We gotta hide. You know, we gotta keep it hush. I have a friend who didn't open up about him being a DACA recipient until many years because he was afraid of somebody, you know, out of anger saying something or calling retaliation, like, oh fuck you, I'm gonna get ICE on you, you know, because it could be that quick.
Living in fear is no joke, man. Like that's horrible. But yeah, you know, like it's insane. Well,
that's good that you're highlighting that, because not a lot of people do, you know. I mean it's certain people do, but in different aspects,
for
you know?
Sure.
Yeah. And whenever someone local is doing something to highlight, you know. But yeah, I get, because we keep it light here too for the most part. I mean,
we're the violins.
Sometimes it gets serious though, and that's okay. Yeah. This is human conversation. Yeah. This is natural. You know, we don't We don't keep things to a strict byline of, well, the show has to have this tone. No, come and be yourself.
Right,
Address your
definitely.
issues.
And if we're not talking about it, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
So you said you want to work more behind the scenes of a broadcasting.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the star of the show.
Talking head? I don't know. I mean, right now, as for the experience of the aspect of it, you know, it's like I'm legitimately, when I go into the studio, I'm producing my own show, I'm recording my own show, and I'm performing all at the same time, right? So I'm doing all of that as I'm doing my show. So experience-wise, it's great, and I'm getting what it feels like to be on the microphone if I ever need to be or whatever. But I think that I really do like the audio editing aspect of it. I'm taking classes also currently where I'm doing audio for video. So I'll have a video that has no audio at all on it, and I'll put in all the sound effects and all the music beds and all the stuff like that. So that's what I kind of find fun too.
So you've done like music videos?
Not music videos yet, but like I've done like commercials, or I've done short clips where I literally sound design the whole video.
Okay.
So stuff like that, that's what I find fun, and I don't mind it. Video editing, I feel like it's a little more tedious for me. Like, I don't know if I like that, but I like, going out and recording sound effects if I have to do that, or recording someone's VO. Like, I'll do that.
Okay. Oh yeah, we definitely gonna collaborate.
Yeah, because if you need video editing, IOP Video, we're the guys. For that.
Nice.
I was plugging
Give
the
us
company.
your burden.
Well, we just did like a short film where it was like a found footage vlog type thing.
Sure.
And in one of the locations we were filming at, I forgot to turn on my shotgun mic, so there's like no sound. So we had to go back and record Foley and sound effects and footsteps and room tone for everything.
Definitely.
And it was so tedious peppering that through there and everything.
Yeah, like I don't mind doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was in a film. It was a Cholo film where and there was a scene where we were jumping somebody, and the thing about it was when we were like simulating the jumping scene, stomp. Can you pass me a paper towel? I was doing the kicking thing and I fucking spilled my coffee.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Phil. When we were doing the jumping scene,
Producer over here just.
my bad, dude.
That's all good.
When we were doing the jumping scene, they didn't, we were supposed to be like talking shit, like like if you were jumping someone, and
Yeah.
and it was like, dude, this sounds perfect. I was like, you motherfucker, whatever the fuck it was. And I didn't know because I'd never really done a film. Like they didn't record any of the sound. So then they recorded each one of us individually, like talking shit. And then it was different because when I was like acting,
It didn't match.
it didn't match. And then all of a sudden he's got the boom up to my face. Yeah, you're gonna get it, buddy. Like what?
Super scripted.
Hella scripted, hella off, and it's just like, yeah.
That's hella funny.
That was ridiculous. Dude. Yeah. But so you said that when you said earlier,
Where can we
performing.
find that clip though?
So the film is not out yet. It's a short film.
Okay.
It's in some film festivals still.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it's got some awards coming up.
Oh,
or
okay.
something. Yeah. So, but
Are you ready for that?
I don't know if I am. I gotta get better. I gotta be able to talk shit without actually, stomping someone.
You get used to it after your third, or I don't know, Phil, you can probably speak on this a little bit better than me, but getting awards, you get some grace after a while.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I mean, I was just a fucking extra cholo, I don't know if I'll get some of that fucking award. You said performing earlier. What do you mean performing? You do like are you a rapper or what do you do?
Oh, no. I just mean in general. Like,
like this.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
This is a
performing.
performance.
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
And, I'm
It's a
like,
natural
I'm
performance.
directing my show. I walk my, I'll play music, and then as that's going on, I'm like talking to my guests. All right, we're gonna do this next, and explain the situation. So it's all a process. It is a process, and it is a lot of work.
I'd be interested to see how it would work. with
Honestly,
music.
I was actually, for sure. I was actually just thinking too, like, I have to return the favor. And if you guys are, next semester, I'm still going to continue my show. And if you guys are at all interested, I'd be more than happy to have you. I have 3 mics in the studio, and we can,
I am very interested.
yeah,
dude.
we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we've never been guests to someone's show.
Yeah.
so
This
that'd
would be
the
It's
first.
weird.
Hey.
It's, I'm like,
But being on that side of things, I think does help. Like if you're an actor, it makes it easier to direct because you know what to expect. So same thing here, like being a guest on a podcast, I think might help you running a podcast, because then you know, like, oh, I was kind of uncomfortable when that happened. I should not do that to my, that kind of thing.
And actually myself, right? Because like I'm saying right now I'm in school, but once I'm out of school, I know that there's projects that I want to do on my own. And podcasting. I'm gonna collaborate with one of my classmates sometime next week on something, and just to get the feel of like what it would be like if I did have my own podcast. And that would be something I'm interested in, because I can for sure like record it, audio edit it, and do what I have to do. Like it's something that it's in the works to see like how I feel about it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, especially since you already got the experience that you got. Just need a soundboard and some mics and you're good.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's not as simple as that, but yeah. So with the whole music aspect, like does the school pay for rights to play certain things, or how does that work?
Right. So we do have a Creative Commons license at the beginning.
Play some Kids Bop, Kids Bop music.
Well, actually, yeah. So we do have we have a rule. It's like after hours, which is 5:00 and after. Our music can cuss, we still can't, right? So we cannot cuss on the air. It's part of the practice. If it slips here and there, like, oops, that's fine. But
Brianda, she cussed the other day, right? I saw you posted that.
Yeah, she was like, fuck yeah.
I heard that,
And I was like, go ahead.
You're safe here.
Oh, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
All the 4-letter words you want.
Yeah. Actually, I was just thinking about it because I was doing a little homework and I was listening to you guys' show right before I came over, and I saw Richard's and he was like, he was like, can I say that? And you were like, yeah, you can say whatever you want. So I was like, all right, I'm good.
Everyone asked that because
I didn't have to censor myself. But back to your question about the licensing, we do have a Creative Commons license that we read at the top of the hour, which covers us for like whatever we play, and at the end of the day we do write down like whatever music we played on the show, so they get their like 2 cents payment for whatever it is, right? But that's at the top of the hour, like if you guys were to come through, you'd see me do it. It's like I read this whole little licensing thing and right before, and then start the show.
Now, I am also a musical artist.
Okay.
Do you accept submissions for
Absolutely. And I shout you guys out and I showcase your music. Send that through.
I'll will.
Give you,
I'll send you the music video for Devil Still. It'd be great.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm an actor.
He was in it.
I was in this music video. Yeah, that's why I started this, because I have friends who do different things. I've had actor friends here.
Yeah.
And anyone that's doing something locally,
right.
Something organic, like your show, like you're from there. You're born and raised in Richmond.
I was born in Berkeley and I was raised in Richmond. Yeah.
Okay.
Richmond, San Pablo.
You grew up what? You went to Richmond High.
I went to Richmond High.
Richmond High. Okay.
Yeah, you were a senior when I was a freshman.
Is that we met in high school or something?
Like maybe like once on occasion. It was actually a funny story, kind of, not really. Where do you remember there was like this little cooking class after school with Meblin?
Oh shit, yeah.
It's a small world after all.
I was the vice president of the cooking club in Richmond High, dog.
Wait, you were?
Yeah. It shows, right?
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, that's an accomplishment, dog. I made some dope ass omelets. Remember those omelets I made?
Okay, I think I went to it like maybe 3 times and then I didn't keep going.
Well, we were trying to, one time, this is a funny story about this. My friend was the president, I was the vice president. I think we were the only 2 seniors. Everyone else is young. We were trying to convince Meblin to buy us a bottle of wine for some chicken dish that we were going to make. It's like, dude, we need the wine for this, dog. Come on. But we were just telling him that so we could get some fucking booze. And he was trying to see what the rules were cooking with wine and this and that. And we didn't get it, but I was like, all right, shit. It was final week of school. We tried. Fuck it.
That's not bad. That's pretty smart.
That is the only drawback when you're running a cooking class with youth, is like you can't have that perfect spaghetti sauce because you can't buy the booze.
Yeah.
You can't buy the booze.
My question is, was the class so controversial that it needed a president and a vice president?
There's a lot of political bullshit that happened, dude. That's why we needed to keep order.
Well,
I don't remember voting.
With after school clubs and things like that, you always have a full cabinet, right? I know at Kennedy you got like the anime club, which I co-chaperone. You've got the president, the vice president, the treasurer. Like a lot of it depending on like how active the club is, they're just names on a paper or something to fatten your college resume up. And you know, like for purposes of the anime club, if you're the treasurer, you got real work because we have candy sales on the under. Shout outs to Mr. Sung and for the administration for looking the other way, because even though it's not officially allowed to sell candy on campus, most teachers are told, oh, look the other way when some students are selling their candy bars because they really want to go to Japantown and, you know, check out the Cherry Blossom Festival.
You know what? Yeah. to what she said earlier, yeah, we did need a vice president and president. It's we had like conflicting opinions sometimes on what we're gonna cook for the day. You know, I wanted some what was it, chicken parmesan, and he wanted to make omelets. So that's when we had to, you know,
we had the omelet day.
Omelet day. I ended up losing. Ended up leaving the club. So that's why you didn't see me after that. Oh, fuck this shit, dude. If it's not gonna work, I'm fucking out of here.
Fuck your cheese and your spinach and your
good omelets though. I was there for that day. Good omelets.
Bro, they probably couldn't afford the chicken. They're just let's just get eggs.
Yeah. Was Meblin, crazy ass Meblin running the
crazy ass Meblin.
Oh,
he brought a raccoon to school one time, bro. That shit was dead.
Oh, dude.
Or a deer. It was a deer.
It was both. It was both. We had a. You should come over here.
Yeah, we offered you a mic, lady, and you're like, no.
Sorry, I know, I'm being too talkative.
If that's cool with you.
Yeah.
Here, let me get up.
Yeah, swap places with me. Here's what we'll do. We'll do like that. Yeah. You take mine.
We're bringing in.
Oh, okay.
We're bringing in someone from the sidelines.
Yeah.
Beating me to it. All right.
Sorry.
No, Meblin. There was this teacher that we had, right, Mr. Meblin, and he would bring in roadkill
all the time
and have us like show us how to like take the fur. You remember that?
Mind you, it was like a history class.
Yeah, but it was hands-on history. He had us make a fucking arrowhead one time. You remember that? And fucking kids were cutting their hands and shit with fucking actual obsidian.
Oh wow.
Dude,
straight up.
That is not okay.
Straight up.
Like what were y'all getting ready to fight dragons or something?
He was. I think he had us do the labor.
Well, he had us cut a arrowhead out of obsidian, and then with the roadkill, we're gonna skin it. This motherfucker was savage, bro. Like
the old-fashioned way.
Remember when he had a ferret as a
he had a ferret. He had a ferret in the classroom also.
That is a pet. That can be a pet. Along came Polly.
Yeah.
You know, there's something.
I'm not a big fan of rodents, though.
There's something about people that choose wild animals as pets that's rather daring, isn't it?
Crazy as
it's
fuck,
like,
man.
You're not satisfied with a dog or a cat. No, I want
a bobcat.
No, or I want a South American python.
Mike Tyson.
That's what I want. I want a tiger. I want a koala. Like, all right, the koala I kind of get. But why the fuck would you want a tiger?
They're hella sexually like crazy and they'll attack when they're horny.
Oh, the koalas?
Koalas.
Of course. Because the koala is from Australia. And even the most innocuous looking things in Australia are designed to kill you.
Right. Like, I'm cute, but if I can't.
No wonder the British were like, all right, we're just going to send our prisoners to the colony over there. Like, they're all going to die anyway, even if they escape the encampment.
What?
The spiders will kill you. The ostriches will kill you. The fucking kangaroos will cave your chests in with a kick.
They got some good actors, though.
We should introduce the person that's...
Oh, yeah, the sidelines, yeah.
I know, sorry, I was in the background.
Have you ever done something like this?
Well, I have been around it.
Okay. I thought you were just her bodyguard. Like.
No. Leslie's one of my very good friends. Do I? That's not a good compliment.
No, I mean, have you seen Ronda Rousey? That's a huge compliment, lady.
No.
Come for me.
Not for me. No, it's okay. It's okay. No, yeah. I'm just Leslie's friend. And I used to intern on Warriors World TV. It was like
nice.
This online. My best friend Rashid Malik. He's his Twitter handle is Warriors World, and so he's like part CEO of it. And I interned with him like years ago, and I actually had my own segment of the show. And then our really good friend Burns, who's like family, he does All In Radio. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but
I remember it. Sounds familiar.
Yeah. It's like out of Oakland now, but I've been in the studio like so many times, so I've seen a lot of this and been around of. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I saw you mentioned a couple of things that I wish were on like, or just in the moment, you know, like it's all good. No,
and in the beginning, I was like, I don't want to be on air, but
on air.
Yeah, I'm whatever.
Welcome back to the business.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
So you're cool with it?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We're gonna edit this out. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Turn her mic off.
It's like when you hand your little brother a remote and it's off. He's pressing the buttons. I'm kidding. I had to drink coffee because our last guest brought some mimosas. So
Man, if I would have known, we could have. Yeah. I was like, I don't know.
I mean, there's still some champagne.
There's some champagne there for like another mimosa.
Y'all want some, you know? It's Sunday brunch, everybody.
Right.
Oh, I was on an empty stomach, so I had to, you know. Do you like drink on the air? Do you bring yourself a bottle,
on
a
occasion,
joint?
Honestly, yeah, I do smoke before every show.
Yeah, I could tell.
You're lit right now.
You were loud, you were crying.
I know, my mom's like, ¿estabas llorando? No, mom. High shit.
Mota.
Right. No, yeah. So yeah, I smoke before every show, and then on occasion when, like, for example, Bree's on the show, she'll be like, hey, I got a little personal. I'm like, all right, fuck it. Let's run that too.
I I used to do that before, well, mostly drinking before stand-up, before performing. And I stopped because it makes it better. But I don't know. But for me, like, for you, what is like the smoking do? Like, does it just kind of like?
Honestly, it's like I feel like sometimes I'm like a little nervous. Like I'll be a little nervous before the show, right? Like I don't know, and then I go on, and then I notice that there's like not a lot of listeners on, so I'm like, all right, I feel fine.
I think it's because it's live. No, that's why you're so nervous.
That's what it is. Yeah, like it's literally if you tune in, that's me right then and there, right? So there's that, but then also because when I do smoke and then I go up there, I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit more chill, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, I'm talking, and maybe people are listening, but like no one, there's nothing to feedback unless they were on the chat roll, really like busting my balls or whatever the case it would be. But it's chill. It's fun. It's good.
Yeah, okay. So it's just more relaxed. Yeah, I think live is probably more of a...
It's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, because, especially you have someone like Brianna on and she cusses,
I know, yeah.
So do you have like a limit of cuss words you can use for the day?
Not at all.
Because I know some places do when they like some radio stations, like you can say at least like 3
Oh, dang.
Or 3S,
Yeah, no, I don't know about that. I mean, I guess the whole idea is for us to be professional. That's why, I mean, it's fine if it slips. It's a student radio show. And I guess the idea is that if you were to do it in public radio or whatever the case may be, the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, are the ones that are out there or whatever, or someone can report it to them and be like, oh, they cussed on the air, you get fined, the station gets fined, you're fired, so it's like it's a whole...
Was there any...
What about censorship? Isn't there like a sort of a delay and they'll press a beep? Yeah, exactly.
I think that there is a delay, but because you're the only one producing your show, right? There's no there's no one there to help you out. Yeah,
press it on yourself.
It's just good practice.
Who the boop?
Yeah, this kid actually, because so what I was getting at earlier is that after 5 o'clock, right, your music can cuss, you can't. Before then, your music better be censored. So I remember I had a show last semester. I think Shoot the Shiz was like at noon, so I couldn't do none of that. Yeah. Sometimes it was hard getting music that I wanted to play.
Kind of music?
So sometimes, like, for example, like I like a little bit more underground artists sometimes, and they don't really have that where they censor their stuff, so it was kind of hard to do that. So for example, there's Snow the Product. She's from San Jose. She's she's Mexicana. She's like a rapper artist in Spanish and English.
She's huge now.
Yeah, she's definitely gotten huge.
You played her before she was...
Well, yeah, before she's like, right now she's really up there, but I was like kind of playing her stuff, and it was hard to get that stuff. And even now, she doesn't really make like non-explicit music yet, so I get it. It's hard to do that stuff, but there was this kid on the air who couldn't find censored stuff, so what he was doing was following the lyrics and like pushing the button every time, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but if it slips, like it's just it was a good try to try to censor it, but I think that if you're on your own, you don't really have like the time to do all that stuff. So
I gotta say, when I first started rapping and I had a whole crew, I said to myself, I always encouraged the crew that I was with, and even though they didn't take heed, it's like, don't curse. Even though we were like politically conscious, we were more on like the Mos Def Talib Kweli side of things, more on the Kendrick Lamar before Kendrick Lamar was Kendrick Lamar sort of stuff, I still was like, well, if perchance a radio station wanted to play our music, we might not want to give them less incentive to do so, because it actually costs extra money to record a regular version and then pay the engineer to go back in and then take out all of the bleeps.
Right.
And we're broke right now. Can we not put this on ourselves?
Exactly.
Like, like when you listen to what's that song? They played on the radio. Well, back when I was a kid, the Tupac and Snoop. Was it Two of America's Most Wanted?
Oh yeah.
When you hear Tupac's verse, it sounds hella like it's someone else's voice, like some dude with a similar voice. So yeah, that's kind of why I also like to work on clean material ish.
Sure.
Because it's just, you know,
a little bit more PG-13.
And it's easier to get booked on shit too.
True.
So like yeah. I mean, I get it. I mean, here we don't really care.
Yeah.
It's different, you know.
But this is fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's not that I do cuss a lot. But I just don't want to feel like, you know,
like you have to be careful.
Yeah, like you have to be careful because you feel like I gotta hold back. Like someone told me that if I wanted to do a company party for stand up, and I was like, yeah, okay. But then they told me it's at a church, and I was like, ooh, like I was like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, clean comedy can be difficult,
I mean, not that I can't.
Clean comedy in front of a church group is even.
Yeah.
Kudos to the Christian comedians who do it and who are actually funny.
And that,
That's hard.
No, yeah.
It is non-offensive.
and it's you know, I know one got Mario. We had him on the show, but he does a lot of clean stuff. But when you listen to it, the content, the story behind it is not clean. It's just he doesn't cuss, you know.
Right.
But yeah. So doing it live. What's the worst thing about doing it live aside from everything else we mentioned, man? Because we're planning on doing something live. We're gonna be on a booth.
Yeah.
In public. For Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, cool.
We got that
on 23rd.
Yeah.
Dope.
Hella people. It's gonna be
the
lit.
voice party.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna. I was thinking that we have a table. I was thinking we just take this.
No, this table's gonna be iconic.
But we were either.
I'm gonna take a picture of it before I leave.
You should. We have stickers that we put so everybody who's.
We need to do a Rich Mind sticker for Nat.
Oh yeah, I have one in the car.
Yeah.
What is that?
Give it to
It's
them.
Rich Mind. Shout out to Nat.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, it's like Richmond, but like Rich
Mine.
Oh, okay.
It's like her little
Oh yeah.
thing.
logo.
Is it Rich City Nance? Is that the one that you're talking about?
No.
Oh, I'm trying. It's a lot of Nance.
This-
Or maybe.
No,
I
Nat.
don't know.
Her name's Natalie.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Rich Mind. This sounds like it could be a billion different things. Like, it sounds like it could be an auxiliary program for schools. We're going to enrich the minds of the kids in Richmond.
Right.
This sounds like it is someone who is promoting how to buy and trade in bitcoins. Like, we're mining the bitcoins. It's anyway. They're not on the show right now, so we don't care about them. But,
And right now it's just a branch
Right.
of hers. But yeah.
understood.
This thing that you're doing is, I kind of wish I would have. Well, I didn't go to school, so I don't know. I can't complain about it now. But
It's never too late.
it's true. Yeah. I
There
think
is
there's a point where it is kind of like not that I mean, all right, never mind.
I go to school with a lot of older cats, you know.
No, I know, but just
I saw
go
a
ahead.
post on social media a few years ago. It was an article about a guy who was 84 and earning his 4th master's degree just because he could. Just
What's
because
up?
he
That's-
could.
that
Hell
is-
yeah.
No, you're right. I don't want to sound pessimistic, you know. I just
Yeah.
anyways, that's a whole other subject,
No,
but
I feel like I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with your mind. Oh, sorry. It has everything to do with the mindset that you kind of were raised with.
yeah.
And if you were raised to chase the money and go after that and have a comfortable life, then you don't even think about school. You think about working until you can get, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
it's kind of like you can't really go after a dream. You have to go after reality for you. Like for some people, that's why I admire Leslie so much, and like people like her who chase their dream and give themselves the opportunity to do that.
That's a friend.
I know.
Because it's just
tearing us up over here.
it's such a risk to take,
Yeah.
but you believe in yourself that much And that just like, yeah.
They're like,
admire.
as she's saying this, just so everyone knows, they're like making eye contact. They're looking into each other's eyes.
Okay,
And
like,
if this table wasn't here, they'd probably run to each other's arms right now. And
It's one of the most beautiful things I've seen in this podcast.
Well, it's true though. Don't you think it's true? Don't you admire people who like start their own business and go after their dream? Like it takes so much guts and just courage to do that.
Yeah,
you know?
my buddies who one of my biggest supporters of my stand-up or anything that I do, he restarted his own company this year, All Roads Overhead Garage Doors.
Our first sponsor.
Our first sponsor. He like, I saw him pick up this skill, and he went with it, and now he's working all over the Bay Area. He funded my first comedy show where I do at the Bridge.
Nice.
He paid, and he just gave me the money, and like, this is a gift because I believe in you. For me, with the stand up.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, he's always been like my biggest supporter.
That's
and
what's up.
Yeah, and that's how it should be with friends.
Hell
like you know, you support each other. He supports me because he feels whatever, you know, and it's important to have friends like that around because
most definitely. I feel like sometimes my circle can be a little small, but you know, shout outs to all my friends, all my support. Like my support system's pretty strong, and you know, each one of them knows like I appreciate them all. But JD, you had asked me a question before we got into all that.
It's the coffee and the beer and the alcohol.
Wait, can I please have some more coffee?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, help yourself.
Drink of the bean.
You said what's one of the worst things that happened, or like the difference between like
we're live,
and live. And I have to say the technical difficulties, right?
Oh,
yeah, because you know, it's the idea that whether you have like one listener on listening in or whatever, the idea is that it's like if you have that person listening and it goes into dead air, you're like, oh my god, hold up, like let me adjust that shit. It's nerve-wracking to have like the other day, it's like we have cables at school. I should really have my own cables, right? But whatever, that's a different story.
The ghost of Gaspar, the spirit of Gaspar entered this room.
Oh yeah, we have another co-host, and he's fucking notorious for bumping shit.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, he yawns.
we won't even need to record Foley when we start doing the scripted things. We'll just have him dong the thing and react.
Technical difficulties.
Right.
Back to technical difficulties. Yeah.
What was it?
No, technical difficulties where it goes dead air.
Right. And then, you know, the idea is like, you know, if they're listening, you know, and they're actively listening, you're trying to, the cables. So I should have my own cables at school or whatever. But we use cables, you know, where we rewire all the signal and stuff like that. So I'm playing music off of my computer, and the wire's kind of unreliable, right? The cable. It's old. Everyone uses it. No one treats it like, you know, they should. So it's kind of crappy at this point. And I was playing music, whatever, and it cuts out. And I was like, what the fuck? And I'm over here like trying to push play. I'm like, is it my computer? It's like, it could be a number of things, right? Yeah. Like eventually obviously found out it was the cable. So I like took it out, put it back in, and we're back on. So it was like split second. But what I did was like I came back on air and I was like, oh, minor technical difficulties to those that are, you know, listening or whatever. But that's kind of nerve wracking.
We had that when the power went out. And, and everything we had recorded an episode and we lost all of it.
No.
Yeah. You weren't here that day, but it was with Gaspar, and dude,
losing shit is the worst. Like not saving some shit.
Oh my god.
Fucking your levels are fucking wrong. Can't use it. Like,
I hate when I do that with stuff that I want to write. Like, there was sometimes I'm sitting here late at night by myself and I think of like a funny thing that sounds hilarious to me. Yeah. And I can't find anything to like write or my phone. Yeah. So I just go, I just like, you know, and then I forget. I remember the next day, what was that thing? Something with fish sticks. Like, what the fuck was it?
You're like, I'm a pinpoint. You're like, I'm a pinpoint it in my head. I'll get to it tomorrow.
Right. Exactly. No, it's gone. Yeah.
You're like, I forgot to push save.
Terabytes of music have been lost. I had a friend who was recording, like 3 albums stacked up.
That hurts.
And then something happened to the CPU, and I was on a few songs. He actually had me. I was on 3 or 4 songs. This is gonna be great. And then he calls me and says, "Hey, bro, like I don't know what happened, but the computer crashed. I got nothing. I've had files in a shared studio just come up completely missing or removed by somebody else who was like, well, we needed to make space. Well, I mean, you could have just let us know. We put it on a flash drive or something. Like 12 songs gone. Wrangling a group of like 20 people together to make that kind of thing was hard.
Yeah. Sucks. We're like a moment of silence for that.
Moment of silence for all the lost content.
I just poured out some liquor onto the
everything happens for a reason. Yeah. Everything happens for a reason.
Everything.
Maybe you had a rebrand, you know? Like
that's God telling you need to write some other shit.
Well, I mean, you know, after that we came out with
after
that we came out with the Kirby's Law Project. So you know, hey, not bad.
Life takes something away. You got to create something else, man.
That's right.
Yep.
So. Oh, I was gonna ask you something. Like, are you looking at, like, after you're done with school, like working for Univision or like Telemundo? Like,
right now, I'm in the works of trying to see. Excuse me. What's up with an internship? Mm-hmm. There's like this media company called Latin Live that I just sent an email to.
Live?
Yeah. It's the first time I hear about it, so it must be based maybe up and coming. I'm not exactly sure, but I emailed them trying to see, like, you know, kind of just trying to start putting stuff on my resume, whatever that be, right? And going from there. I don't really want to do news aspect, but, you know, just honestly anything like television or radio, but production in general, like, it's what I'm going for. I don't know exactly where yet. Like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just kidding.
I think most of us.
Yeah.
You know, I think so. Like, who knows what they're doing in life, right? You know, like.
It's true. It's really true. I saw a post the other day that said, me in my 20s, I am an adult now. Finally, things are going to be amazing. Me in my 30s, oh, I see. My biggest mistake growing up was thinking that adults were naturally competent.
Right. Absolutely. It's rough out here.
It's rough out here, man. And a lot of this shit, people, like, it's all guessing. We're all just guessing shit out here, dog.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Like, advice is like, you think about the advice people give you.
It's the blind leading the blind.
Yeah. Like I have. This is gonna sound fucked up, but like,
lay it on us.
Right.
Like I have someone in my life that's like an addict of some heavy shit, and I had an emotional moment where I was texting something to him. And I was drunk and I was very emotional, and then he's like, dude, you have a problem. Like, motherfucker, I have a problem? The fuck?
Look at the pot calling the kettle black.
Exactly.
Right. So it's like, I mean, you know, yeah.
Look at the blade of grass calling the fern green. Fuck you just say to me.
What did you say to me? I was having a bad moment, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's
right.
Just, yeah. But we were talking about broadcasting. I have a friend who works in broadcasting, and I don't know if he worked for Univision. Oh, we had him, Jesus, the guest, one of our first guests.
Oh yeah,
Jesus Cruz. Yeah, and I see what he posts, like behind the cameras, in the boards. I worked at Chase Center,
okay.
So I saw like the video production rooms,
sure,
and all those fancy, colorful buttons and all the little like things that make the cameras go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked like the spaceship to me.
Cool. It's probably the control room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see that he does that, and it looks fun. I just, you know,
yeah.
So that's kind of what you want to do. Like
that's kind of what I want to do. I think also what I was really interested was I like to go to a lot of live music.
Live music?
Yeah, live music or like festivals here and there.
Yeah.
And you know, it takes a whole ass team to create something like that. You know, so I mean,
it's not just speakers and lights.
Nope, it surely is not. You know, they're definitely making it an experience for you to go there and do drugs. So
yeah. Those kind of
I'm just mean I'm joking. Well, there's those, right? But I also like, you know, I've gone to my like small venues where I go and see like live bands, you know. So yeah, it's a variety of different things. But what I'm getting at is that, you know, I would like to know how to mic up like a performer if I needed to, or set the stage if I needed to, you know. So right now I am taking a class where it's like recording for music production. It's not exactly like all of that, but it's definitely an idea of like, you know, microphone placement, how to set up recordings, cables along the floor and making sure no one trips over them, like all the technical stuff, right? But that's also something that I'd be willing to like dabble into.
It's funny you say that because I love going to concerts. I this year I've seen a bunch of people and working at Chase Center, I got to see, like, for example, Metallica is one of my favorite bands.
Cool.
And I got to see, like how big their fucking crew is
Yeah.
to set everything up.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, it's a lot of shit. They had their own
And they got to do it right.
And
Like,
it's
they don't-
live.
yeah.
Talk about live.
You fuck up, like,
yeah.
out of here.
It's live. That's hardcore live.
And I mean, if you go, right, and you have this amazing ass experience, then yeah, of course the band, but production did what they were supposed to fucking do.
Yeah.
So
and it makes sense why they trip off of like motherfuckers on their phone when this shit's going on. Like, oh yeah, let me post this real quick, and then like that's
look at what I did.
Yeah. I do like one of the things I want to do with I want to bring in. I like to go see live performers like on a smaller scale, like underground.
Yeah.
I just recently went out to see a band, cumbia band from Salinas, and even that little small like production, like it takes a lot of work.
And what I'm getting at with that too is another thing that I was interested in, a little bit more locally kind of thing, where one of my audio teachers at some point said something along the lines like, every like music artist or whatever, they have their sound people, right?
Yeah.
But every venue has also their sound people, and they have to work together in order to make shit work.
Yeah.
So like I thought that was something cool too. Like I can literally work for a venue and do audio engineering work if you need be, So that's something also I'm interested in. Working for smaller things, smaller areas. Like there's the New Parish, right? Like they have stuff where
That's where I went to see the band.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So exactly that.
Dope venue.
Love the New Parish.
Shout out to the New Parish. You been
Hell
to the New Parish?
Yeah, I saw. First time I went to the New Parish, it was to see a group called the First Infantry, Inf Gang.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
And they were great. I've been rocking with them since they were selling mixtapes at middle college, and to see them, officially in a venue like that, it was huge. I had the VIP status because we went back way back. So went upstairs. It was like they were like, "Yo, come chill with us." It was nice. I got to chill with members of the band. It's
Nice.
dope.
I saw Dave Chappelle there.
Cool.
After his breakdown from Asia when he came back.
My friend opened for him that day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was so great. It was like very intimate, so dope.
He did like 3 hours, right?
Yeah, it was so great.
So then there's also that. How's like production for like a comedy setup? Yeah.
I just get the mic and that's it.
So, but I mean, there's
kidding. No, well, I performed at comedy clubs and I mean, they have their people there. You know, the guy with the headphones and like 20 of these. It looks like 20 of these boards up. I mean, I guess it's a lot easier, but they also have lighting and all that.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
When I do my show, it's just literally just the mic and the speaker. So I can't really talk on that aspect too much. But yeah, for comedy clubs, they have their engineers there and I mean, but it's just the microphone and the lights.
Yeah.
I can't really,
No, yeah, but I mean, I think that's what I mean. Is just like obviously there's someone that set up that mic.
Yeah,
There's someone that set up those speakers. So that's cool. That's what's up.
Yep. What we were talking about earlier, you said what year, I just want to remember what year was that? Like 4 years ago? 3? No, hell no.
No, that was like 2010, 2009, 2010.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right?
Something like that.
Am I right? Didn't he go to Asia after his breakdown? Africa, yeah.
Africa.
Sorry, didn't mean to mix up the continents.
They'd have been looking at him real.
What's in that
like,
coffee?
Ooh, you guy,
I know, right?
foreigner.
I'm
Now
really not
why?
good at geography.
Gaijin. Nah, he would have gone where he could have blended in.
No, and then he came back, and then I think I just got it mixed up because he has an Asian wife. So I'm like,
Filipino wife. Yeah.
that's Asian.
Close.
right?
It's Pacific.
Yeah.
It's the Pacific. It's fine.
You know what they
Let me
consider
shut
themselves?
my mouth.
No.
At least you didn't say. At least she wasn't Hawaiian, because then it would have been real awkward.
Yeah.
You got some ground to stand on with. Going,
Or call her
Filipinos are
Mexican.
Asian, right? Oh,
You know the first
some
time-
people make that mistake with Filipinos too. They're a
Dude.
little bit. People be like, "Oh, y'all are Mexican too." No, we're not. Y'all Asian too. No, we're
To
not.
some
They're
people,
more
all
Asian.
of Latin America is Mexico.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it's funny that the first time I ever encountered a Filipino as a kid is I was kind of confused, dude. Like,
Culture shock.
yeah, because it was a substitute teacher, older Filipino man, and I was like in first grade, and sorry for my nose, man. Yeah, I forgot what it was, but we asked him his name. He's like, his first name was Jose, and I'm looking at this Asian dude like, hold on, what the fuck?
You culturally
Jose?
appropriating mother.
No, I was like,
You were thinking?
I was like, wait, what? Like, wait, I thought wait, what are you? And then he says Filipino, and I was like, Filipino? Like, what the fuck is that, dude? Like, what? Huh? And it's like, I came home, I told my mom, like, it wasn't in Spanish, but I'll translate. Like, I met the most paisa Chinese guy I've ever like seen.
And you know the Spanish.
His name was Jose. Like,
oh my god,
I don't understand.
Well, a lot of them do have like Latin last
Yeah.
names. Like
It's because they were
Munoz is
conquered.
really
Yeah, they
big
were
in
conquered by the
Spaniards.
Spaniards. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Spanish are all like, many have fallen before our flag. They don't discriminate when it comes to colonialization. None of the European countries do.
You don't give a fuck, man. You got good food.
Right.
Take you over.
You know how to use spices.
Yeah.
Here we come.
Right.
The French are like, we'll bring the wine and you bring the spices. So, Vietnam, yes. Vietnamese soup is awesome, by the way. Thank you, French, for throwing the onions in the pot.
Oh yeah, huh? That's how they the pho.
Yeah.
Pho, yeah. We're getting off topic, but it's all good. What were we saying about Filipinos, or were we talking
Sorry,
about?
we were talking about Dave Chappelle.
Dave
That's
Chappelle.
That's all
Okay.
it stemmed
It's
from,
all
and then
good.
I got
Is there
my
another- can I
confidence
have it?
wrong.
Yeah, go for
Can
it.
you give me another cup? Or
Yeah.
should I
Oh
just
yeah,
drink out
'cause
of
this
it?
is, yeah,
Take
this
it
is,
to the head now.
She found the champagne that
Yeah, I mean, it's
Felicia
just
Mary
kind of
brought
like
in.
staring at me. So.
Dude, we got the orange juice right there. It's all good.
It's most of the time.
So, wait, yeah.
I'm just looking at the camera because it's looking.
Oh shit! Yeah, we got the. This is new, by the way. We've never had the camera in the middle of the table, just kind of staring. There you go. There you go. Now
It's
you're
like
on camera.
it's like a robot.
That's for your mom to see. Like, lo que haces cuando no andas en la casa. So you get your family to tune in, huh? That's pretty dope, dude.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, my tias from Mexico and like Guatemala. They're like,
They listen over there.
Yeah. Well, they look at it on Facebook Live. Yeah.
How do you feel like doing that in front of family? 'Cause
It's fine. It's cool. You know, they're just like, oh, you look so cute. They don't really take it seriously. You know, I'm just like, okay, I'm working here.
the reason I ask is because up to this year was the first time I started stand up in like 2012, 2011ish. This year was the first time I ever had family at my shows.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What's the reason for that? Would you
Just
tell
a
them?
little shy, you know?
Oh yeah, no, I feel it.
It's I like doing it in front of strangers,
Yeah.
and even having friends there sometimes makes me uncomfortable.
Nah, for sure.
But especially family, because some of the shit is about them, you know.
No, you're not wrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So when you say that, you know, because I can't imagine. I don't know. I don't think my family has ever even listened to the podcast. Well, when they're in the other room, you know.
The sound bleeds through.
Talking shit.
The sound bleeds through. Yeah, that's why I put up the soundproof. Soundproof. But yeah, if we're in front of like close relatives, I think.
I mean, I think part of it too is that like although I tried to do a bilingual show this semester, and yeah, here and there, se me sale like a little bit, like, you know.
Well, it's called La Mera Hora, so it makes sense.
You know, and I tried, like in the beginning, I really tried, but then I kind of lose sight of it, and then I get into my topics, and whoever's on the show, depending if they don't speak Spanish, like, you know. But anyways, so
You're fluent in Spanish. First language?
I mean, I guess technically, yeah, it is.
Okay.
Pero me sale mucho, you know, like sometimes I'll be like, don't know what word I'm trying to think of, whatever.
I feel like I fucked both of them up already, so it's kind of his own. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, what I was getting at was that lost my train of thought.
My bad, dude.
No, it's all good.
It's
so
the
distracting,
champagne.
JD.
I'm sorry, and I'm the host. Like,
You know, it happens. But I was piggybacking off the family thing. For me,
Oh, I remember now.
you know, a lot of things you want to
Go ahead.
I was
I was apologizing.
I'll remember it.
But I was just gonna say, like, a lot of the projects that I do, whether it's music or film I'm working on or something, I don't always invite family and friends to go listen or show up, because I kind of feel like, well, shoot, I mean, of course your friends and your family are going to come. They love you. But the true test of whether or not what you're doing is good is when absolute strangers come out the woodwork and be like, that was awesome.
That's actually really true.
Yeah.
Because those people don't love you.
Right.
You
don't
know what I
have
mean?
to,
They're
yeah.
being honest.
It's easy to
You know.
it's easy to like please a room full of people that love you.
Yeah.
Like, especially with doing with like, you know, like the support thing, you know, with stand up. I'm speaking from my experience. Like if I just had a room full of my friends, and it's gonna be easy to, you know,
be a crowd pleaser for sure.
Right, yeah.
What I was getting at, back to what I had, the initial thought was that, you know, I'm doing my shows in English and stuff, and like, you know, they don't no entienden, they don't really understand, so I'm just like, oh, okay, like, you know, so it's like I think that they watch it for a bit and they're like, oh, we don't know what she's talking about, and they're just like sending me little hearts and stuff. Yeah.
Go team finger, you know.
Exactly. My grandma always like mi nieta, and I'm just like, yeah, grandma, you know. So it's cool. It's funny. It's that's why I feel like, you know, a lot of the time initially I wasn't sharing it on my actual Facebook because there's, besides my family, there's also just like random people, right? Okay. So I wasn't sharing it on my Facebook live, on my Facebook, my own personal one, and you know, Facebook's been there for years, so it's like accumulated hella people that like I do know, don't talk to anymore, etc., etc. So I was putting it on this like the side page for initially Shoot the Shiz, which only you get that say on your news feed if you like the page, right? Not only people had to like the page, so that was a little bit more comfortable because not a lot of people were seeing it. But then one day I had like 1-2 beers before my show, and I forgot to switch it over to the Shoot the Shiz one, and I put it on my personal one. And people were actually tuning in, like people that I hadn't talked to in a while, and it was kind of nice. And I was like, fuck, like I did the wrong page, but at the same time it was kind of cool. Yeah. And it was nice that I got support from people I hadn't talked to in forever, like people like, you know, shouting, like giving me their shout outs. So it was an interesting surprise. And it's like, you know, if I hadn't done it on accident, like I wouldn't have done it. And I'm sure you got some new viewers on. Yeah, right? Here and there. And then I did it a second time on my own personal one and being aware of it. And, you know, the same people were kind of tuning in, and it was cool. It was a cool little experience. I created some side pages to keep like my personal stuff separate from it, but it just kind of ended up just, it merges. Yeah. And you can't do anything about it. You know, you can't help it. Like when you did the because you post like, I appreciate the hell out of this guy. He's the director of the show because he's very professional. Yeah. And like whenever an episode comes out, I'll just do a story of link in bio, go check it out. And he takes the time to like. He takes the time and he does this saucy, nice, you know, for sure, sophisticated post about what the episode's about, even if he wasn't here. So I mean, that's we was talking about like you do it all, dude. Like it's all you. Like you don't, you know, you don't have your Joaquin, but that's gotta be hard to do. Thank you. Right. Yeah. No, I've never given you a compliment on the air before. Usually.
I inspired him.
I know they were looking each other in the eyes.
I wasn't looking at his eyes. I gotta look at his eyes.
And there is no table in between them.
Oh, two beautiful moments on the show. Oh my God. Welcome to the voice party, where we share our feelings.
You guys are the hosts and we're your guests.
Sorry.
They're the host now, and we're the guests.
It's flipped.
So how long have you guys been hiding this like affection for?
Well, Oprah,
you know what? He's always wearing a tie when he's around me, so I know he's trying to impress me.
Right.
Oh, don't be silly.
Don't get jealous, Phil.
Don't be silly. It's not for you. It's for the guests.
See, I think he's about to have it with me.
It's good for the show. Everything in service for the show.
Yeah, this is so great that you guys have this.
Yeah, this is like I was telling these guys earlier. This has been like therapy for me.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm sure great. You know what that is. Yeah, after a long week or long whatever.
Yeah, you just have this little soapbox to come up here and just fuck, man. Yeah.
Because conversations, like, man, they can decompress a lot of the shit in your head, dude. Mm-hmm. So even if it's listening to someone, because sometimes you listen to someone's problem as a friend, you're like, fuck, my shit sucks, but.
Not that bad.
Not that bad, thank God. Gracias a Dios que no soy esa persona. You
know? you leave like, Gene. Yeah.
Leslie and I, we talk. We have like our little sessions daily. Yeah. We do new moon rituals. We do full moon rituals. We set our intentions. We're very like.
We're brujas.
Yeah.
Brujas. Oh my gosh.
That was me.
There goes the brujeria.
I know, right?
Wait, the spirit of Gaspar is alive and well here,
New
folks.
Moon rituals. Wait, hold on. What?
So when there's a new moon and there's a full moon, each like, and I know it sounds witchcrafty, but it's really not. It's just
I
kind
only
of
do it
being
'cause they
really
make me.
right. It's really just being intuitive, you know, and that's very important. And every new moon and full moon, they have their own sign.
What happened to the old moon, the one we landed on?
Right.
Whenever I hear that,
I mean, in the cycle.
Okay,
I mean, in the cycle. So it's like once a month, I guess, or something like that. And you set your intentions, kind of, you know, short-term goals that you intend to accomplish, what you intend to get rid of, and then, you know, you put them out. You say it aloud, put it out into the universe, and then you see what comes back to you. And you kind of do, when you start being intuitive and you start putting that out there and manifesting things, you see it come full circle, and it's really cool to have, you know, that written down somewhere, and you can go back and see what your intentions were, and, you know.
More viewers.
That's very new age. Definitely new age.
It is new age, but I feel as if a lot of people these days are way more into being in tune with their thoughts and what they really want and their intent. You know what I mean? I see that a lot. You could see it on social media, this, that, and the other, but it's a really cool way to kind of organize your thoughts and you know, just kind of...
Yeah.
I think a big part of that is that also, like, people are learning that they can be spiritual without having to do, like, religion or, like, you know, certain religions.
Yeah.
Like, you can be spiritual in your own way.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's really great. Like, you don't have to go to church in order to be, like, feeling good about yourself, or whether you're doing all right, or whether you're a piece of shit or not. You know, you can literally, you know, be okay with yourself.
And you can, and you can have, like, your own church, kind of, essentially, you know. And
whoa.
I know, right? She's.
I mean, I sacrifice to Cthulhu every day.
You just everybody grab a blade and pour it into this cup, mix it with the orange juice. That's why I got that thing over there, the one you were looking at, the samurai. We could do a ritual right now.
Weapons and a gong on your side table.
The deep one.
JD's not new to this. He's true to this.
Right. I appreciate it.
Right.
No, yeah, I'm not new to this at all.
Anyways, I really didn't mean to sound like brouhaha, but
oh no,
it's just like
I know some real brujas.
Yeah.
So it's all good. It's all good. No. That's a whole other story, though.
I know.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
you fuck around with witchcraft, huh? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry, Mom.
Hi, Mom. No.
For the record, I am a Christian. I've stated that previously in this podcast. Just throwing that out to our listeners. I only make jokes about Cthulhu. I don't actually sacrifice to him every day. Praise to the deep one who will once rise from the ocean.
He writes horror stuff. Huh? He's a Christian guy that writes. We did a music video about the devil. Like,
they're cautionary.
No, I know. I mean, yeah. It's still pretty evil, though.
I'm pretty sure Stephen King goes to church. He's very old school New England. Why not?
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
What you said, though, the whole you can be spiritual without going to church. Do you go to church at all?
I don't. I mean,
other than for like weddings.
Right. If I get invited to those, right?
Yeah, friends who are doing that kind of shit.
Yeah. You know, like light on fire when you cross the threshold. Like it's too much.
Right. I'm gonna just stand outside. Oh wait.
Oh wait. I'll meet you guys at the.
I'll be at the bar.
Yeah.
Right.
They sprinkle holy water on you.
I'm melting.
No, so I mean, I think as a kid, I grew up Catholic, right? To an extent. I did my first communion. I haven't done my confirmation. The other day, like, my mom was saying, like, oh, you still have to do your confirmation. And I was like, you know what, Mom? For you, I'll do it. I don't care much. If you want me to do it, I'll do it for you. Like, I'm not tripping at all, right? Like, I'm still gonna smoke before I go to class. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. I'll smoke before I go to church.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
You usually get your confirmation in like the 8th grade.
I was supposed to get that done too.
Right.
Confirmation of what?
Yeah. What am I confirming? Here? Can I just go and sign the paper?
It's like 3. I went to Catholic school till 8th grade. Okay, not
makes
not
sense.
Proud about that, but I did.
A lot of people think go to Catholic schools.
Well, my mom, she went to 12 years of Catholic school, and so she was like, you're going to go to school in San Francisco and be open to every walk of life.
Yeah.
And I just didn't do well in public, so I went to Catholic till 8th grade and then went to public, but It was just
fun.
really hard because of what I know, right?
We had like less rules.
Being a
Public
Catholic
schools are like
girl.
Las Vegas for kids.
Yeah, we couldn't be
Right.
contained. There's no way. Yeah.
Oh my god, tell me about it.
No
And
parents?
Right. And anyways, it was just, so I had to do, baptism, first communion, confirmation. Those are the three things that you need in order to get married in the Catholic Church, and your tuition is cheaper if you do it, and if you're Catholic. So of course I had to do it, right? But now my mom has like Buddha everywhere because she's like, we don't believe in it. Like only peace and love in this house,
There you
positive
go.
vibes.
Yeah.
And my dad's
Whatever
like,
works.
my dad's like, no more heads, because he has Buddha heads everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, no, for me, whatever works, because
Yeah.
there is some benefits. I mean, someone said this to me, for like people who are trying to do like recovery, like drug recovery, like the churches will never say no to you for help. Like that's a good thing. I mean, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard for the most part, and I see a lot of. But yeah, as far as like, and for me, it's a discipline thing. Every Sunday, you gotta sacrifice my Sunday.
Right.
I mean, I don't.
And there's just also a lot of guilt behind it. It's a guilt-ridden thing.
Yeah.
Like, sure, a crackhead could be welcomed into a church, but it's like, you have to repent and you have to say these Hail Marys and you have to do this, that, and the other in order to go to heaven.
I just don't like the like brainwashing aspect of things. Like it's just weird.
But
you
it's
know?
also a cycle within these like Catholic families where like everything is guilt ridden.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a cycle that like as a child, like you have to break that if you don't want that in your family.
I mean, truth be told though, like if we think about it, like all this comes down to like colonization and our way of decolonizing and like having to like fucking repent for the things that we did wrong. And you know, they're instilled from hella long ago. So it's not even just our like families, it's just like shit that's been taken on and on, like tradition after tradition.
On that same note, I think even if we weren't like, if let's say the Spaniards didn't come or whatever, I'm sure like the Aztecs use their religion to fuck with their own people too. Like it's just a religious thing, like it's kind of like you got to create a boogeyman to scare your kid into fucking acting right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
Now, as a Protestant, and I say Protestant, you ever have a conversation with someone and you're like, oh, well, I come from a Catholic background. And where are you from? And the person goes, well, I'm not Catholic, I'm Christian. And it's like, no. It's all from the same branch of stuff, right? But I say Protestant to differentiate. And one thing I like about that is, I don't have to... There's nothing in any of the Protestant churches, whether you're talking about Episcopalian or Baptist or whatever, where you have to sit down to a semi-stranger and go, so Father, these are all the things I did this week. I oogled the neighbor's wife just for 5 seconds. I drank a little too much at the wedding. I whatever it is, I took a piece of candy from my little cousin who wasn't paying attention and I technically stole. Like I can just come to the way that Protestantism works is you just come to the Lord with your thing and you go, hey, help me work on this sort of thing, and it's your own. Like your family, it's none of your family's business. It's none of your church community's business. It's between you and God. And I kind of like that, I don't know how it would be for me if I was just out, Father, forgive me for I have sinned, and it's like the Father you're talking to is no better, right? Because he's probably over there just like, I know, son, I know, and I hate to poke fun of this sort of thing, but we all know what the Catholic Church has been under the microscope for in recent years, right?
Yeah, the priest from my mom's middle school is in prison right now for
shit.
doing that to her classmates. So and that's where you learn, that's where you're like they're authoritative and they use their power for all the wrong reasons. Right. And it's disgusting.
It's all people, like
it's
people,
disgusting.
It's crazy.
That's
for sure.
And they go after the same type of person, and that, no father, single mother, I need to make this boy look at me like I'm God because I'm a priest. And it's like the amount of stories in this world that all have the same ending like that is just the definition of gross.
There goes our sponsorship by the Catholic Church.
Right?
I'm gonna say this right now, like Martin.
Tune into Catholic radio.
Both Martin Luther's are heroes to me. Like Martin Luther King Jr., the African American Baptist preacher, and Martin Luther, the German preacher, who said, this whole reading in Latin and the priests only being able to read the Bible is BS. I'm going to translate the Bible so that everyone can read it for themselves and they can decipher what's going on, rather than leaning on the understanding of some dude. Because everyone needs a teacher, and everyone needs someone, regardless of what you're studying, to be able to help you break it down. But if you're not able to take that textbook home and do the work yourself, you're missing out.
And that's the problem I have. That how many fucking Bibles is there? Like everyone has a Bible, right?
You mean like there are a million different translations?
Well, translations, but like
like
translation
for every religion, they have their own book.
Not necessarily, but isn't like the King James Bible?
Oh, you're talking about the translation.
The translations, yeah.
So
and New Testament, Old Testament.
Yeah.
So with the New Testament, Old Testament, like, those aren't really different translations. Those are just like, that's like book 1 and book 2. It's like you got your Fellowship of the Ring, and then you got your Return of the King.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with the translations, you have, and I find this interesting because I've read up quite a bit about like some of this history, but you'll find things in the King James Bible like unicorns are referenced, I think, is somewhere in there. And the only reason a unicorn is even thrown in there is because there's a Hebrew word that the translators did not understand. So they're like, it's some kind of beast based on the context. Screw it. It's unicorn now, and so people have come back later and reread the stuff and said, no, that's not actually what that means. Let's readdress this. Or sometimes it's the nature of the change of our language. You read the King James Bible, no one speaks that way anymore. So we're going to come out with an NJV so that people, modern speakers, can understand this a little bit better. And there's constantly people learning and posing through what this Greek word means and what this Aramaic word, because keep in mind, depending on like which part of the Bible you're reading, because the Old Testament is mostly written originally in Hebrew. The New Testament is written in a combination of Latin and Greek because of the Romans came through and kind of took over, and then Paul had to write letters in Greek to some of the people that were living over there, and these are things that are 2 or 3 times removed based on like what kind of flora and fauna was around and who was referencing what. It's a lot.
It's like a game of telephone at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So when I was in Catholic school, I would ask, I wanted like scientific proof so that I could actually believe in something that I believe in. And they would only say, you have to have faith. You just have to have faith. This is true. You have to have faith. And it was just really hard for me to wrap my mind around that, It was...
Can't do it.
Yeah, everything was sugar-coated. No sex ed. Didn't even know what sex was when I was a freshman in high school. Like,
really?
Yes. Wow. That's also partly like my parents' fault because you should learn that shit at home. But like, I was so sheltered. It was just not okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, like, when I had the talk with my folks since 6th grade, and there was that might sound a little young, but what happened was...
No, I mean, I'm sure people have lost their virginities younger than that.
You know what?
Well, what happened was there was a kid her name was Dale. I come from the South. Dale was just a name you toss around. And there's this other kid named Jesse, and he had gotten into an argument with her, and then all of a sudden she starts crying. So I go home and I'm confused. I said, Grandpa, that Jesse called her, and I hate to see her crying. I felt bad for her, but she cried over something incredibly silly. And like, what do you mean? Well, Jesse called her a horse. He called her a horse, and then she started bawling, and I can totally understand why a kindergartner would be upset by this, but I think he said horse. It sounded like... So my grandmother thought about this for a minute, and then she said, I think I know what Jesse called her. So we sat down and we had this talk. So she my grandmother pulled out the Bible and the medical dictionary.
Oh.
And so she went, so the word Jesse used was whore. And this is why you should never use this word in redress to women. This is why it's disrespectful. This is what the Bible has to say about it. Wait till marriage. This is how it mechanically works. Here's the medical dictionary. Oh, and when the penis and the vagina come together, it's the such and such canal. Oh, okay. all right, thank you. Like
when you get older, this is the only thing you're gonna want to do all the time.
They didn't throw that in there, but
you know, sex. My family, we would never even bring that up. Like anytime they're like making out on TV, like, oh, change the channel. Like that's the way it was in my house too. So I remember. So one of my dad's neighbors, he was friends with, was a cableman. And this is back in the days where you could pay the cable guy like $50 and he'll put on every channel, you know. So we had HBO and I was sitting watching movies late at night, and then all of a sudden, you know, one of those late night, whatever, you know, the Showtime HBO porn movies comes up, and I'm like, what is the, you know, like that was like my first time ever seeing something like that, and I kind of wanted to ask my mom, like, oh my God, I saw something on TV yesterday. It was this guy, like, but I told my brother, and he was like, don't ask him that. Like, that's if someone comes through, I had no one. So then finally had sex ed in like 3rd grade, and then I was like,
third grade.
Oh Lord,
fuck?
they just keep pushing the envelope back every year, don't they?
Wait, what year did you graduate? How old are you? Oh, me too.
Really? What school?
Washington High School, Wash House in San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Wash House. That was the nickname. Wash House.
Oh my God.
We're talking about sexual education. You know what I'm saying?
I went to school in the city though my whole life. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, so you learn witchcraft.
Right.
How you feeling?
I'm not a witch.
I'm feeling good, you guys.
You feeling good?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, good on time. Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool.
We're good.
So we have some more questions for you. We were talking about you went.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We were talking about what age you had like the birds and the bees talk, and I still haven't had it with my parents.
I feel like that too. Like it's really around the bush, and that's another thing that I've most recently have been talking about on my show. Kind of is
it's taboo with Latinos.
It's super taboo, right? Taboo. It's just like there was a situation where it's like my brother, you know, he has a girlfriend now, and you know, I was kind of complaining to my parents like, y'all need to watch him, because I came home one day and it was just like, I didn't catch anything in the act, thankfully, but it was just like, you know, they're huddled up in the room, lights off, and I got home from work and I was like making noise like, I'm here, motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Like trying to be keeping it cool, but I also told my mom, like, yo, like either talk to him or like give him some condoms or I don't know what the hell. And then my grandma was right there and she was like, give him condoms, like that's like telling him to go ahead and do it. And it's like they're gonna do it regardless, so either make sure it's good or, you know, or expect to be having like grandkids soon, you know what I mean? So it was just like, it's inevitable, shit's inevitable. But it's super like, topic or the subject of sex is very like, oh my God, hush hush, we don't talk about that stuff.
Yeah, get
over it, you know, especially because I mean, yeah, it's awkward and stuff and weird when you're trying to explain to somebody that's coming of age, sure, but I think that that being so taboo when we're young affects us when we're older. And it's something that I've talked about with my girlfriends, right? Talking about our sexuality or whatever the case may be. And you know, sometimes we even feel uncomfortable about it. Why do we feel uncomfortable about it? You know, we're adults, we're grown. And also, you know, it's something that we shouldn't be so ashamed about, is what I'm getting at, I guess. And it comes with like learning how to break away from that and feeling so shy and feeling like it's so taboo, like we don't talk about it, you know, in order to get comfortable.
You know, it's interesting. You're like, yeah, they're gonna do it eventually, and I'm like, well, I mean, your grandmother could be coming from the perspective that my grandparents came from, which is, well, I mean, I think it's a misnomer not to talk about it, but a lot of older people have that value of, I mean, we waited till we got married.
And I totally understand that. I understand that 100%.
And I think there's something special in that too. Like, if you really want to wait for that, like, you know, I'm going to do this with one person the rest of my life, might as well for some people.
Well, you know, like, that's how I feel. I'm like, to each his own, you know, for sure. But I think that you need to have precautions before they decide to go do it and they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, that's more so what I mean. But yeah, for sure, to each his own. Like, if you want to wait, go ahead and wait. Like, you know, it's whatever you want to do, for sure. I just think that education is a big part of that, you know. Mm-hmm. So that's how I feel too. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's good if you want to wait.
It's not really realistic. And then it's like the amount of time that you know
You wait?
that you wait is like based around sex. Your engagement is going to be based around sex, basically, and that's just like
that's
very Mormon.
Yeah.
You know?
because once you get past that, the sex part, like, oh, I don't love this person. I just wanted a bone.
Well, I don't,
And it wasn't what I
That is
expected.
really what Mormon religion is based on. Like, they encourage you to date for 3 months and then get married, so sex isn't a thing. And I asked my cousin, who's Mormon, I was like, so does that mean that, like, this is based around sex? And he was like, yeah, basically, yes. And I was like, wow, that would not be okay.
I think it says a lot about the person if it's just like the whole reason that I got married to you is just to have sex.
Yeah.
No, but it's like,
You
so
know?
that's not like a huge pushing factor, and it's not you committing a sin ultimately. 'Cause
Yeah.
that, it could be a personal choice, but mostly it's a religious choice.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, it's all interesting.
it is.
Yeah.
It
Gotta
is.
bone your way to happiness, man. Find that perfect one. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god!
If
But
you
then
learn
if you,
anything
like,
today, it's that.
wait- right? And if you wait and then it's terrible, then what?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do then?
You're stuck for the rest of your life, buddy.
Any young person listening, no, I'm just kidding.
Test
gotta
the waters.
Test the waters.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
Just
That's
we're all
horrible.
just kidding.
That's a horrible message to send
How
out
many?
there.
I got a question for you guys. How many episodes do you guys have so far?
Oh, thank God. I heard how many. I was like,
Kids
what?
do you guys have?
Come up for air.
Oh, Jesus. Phil? I think it's like 18. I counted.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That's so
Just
great.
18 weeks.
Yeah.
When we started, we were just going every Sunday.
Oh,
And then the thing is that Phil's only day off is Sunday.
Oh,
So
I
he's
see.
here hanging out with me
Got it.
on his
So
only
cool.
day off,
Right.
recording, and you know everyone works.
Yeah,
I mean-
this is my only day off too.
That's
And I'm
wild.
oh yeah, you too.
And I go to church every week, so it's been like, I'm like, yo, man, I need to get some Jesus in me right
No,
now.
yeah.
Can I-
Oh wait, you go to church on Sundays?
yeah. I mean, it's the only day. I mean,
so you don't wear a tie for me.
I'm not a
for the show.
seventh. I'm not a Seventh Day Adventist. So
Aw,
no,
man.
like.
Felt
Yeah.
special. I don't know.
But I wear a tie out of
comes
habit.
out.
I also wear ties to work.
18 episodes,
Nice, you
18.
guys.
Right.
That's what's up.
and most of them are hour long, right?
Yeah.
Two-
Yeah.
What we did tomorrow was June. We did it at band, so it was like a 3-hour thing.
Yeah, it was good though.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
engaging,
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, put us on when you're cleaning your house up, spring cleaning, whatever. On your commute. Lord knows commutes are long these days.
Oh my
Yeah, hell
gosh,
yeah.
they're awful.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And then sometimes you don't want to listen to music, so
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen to some bomb conversation.
yeah.
Sure.
Put a song in the background as you're making love to your significant other.
That was an idea.
If you want to make things awkward,
Hey,
right,
dude,
right.
when you're trying to find that special one, you know,
I mean, maybe it's their kink. It's like, yo, I really
What-
like getting it on.
we gotta say what Phil said on the
podcast
Yeah, I don't know if everyone heard
conversations.
that.
and no one heard that.
What
What
I
Phil
said,
just
like,
said is you can put us on the
Here.
background while you're making love with your partner,
With your significant
or your
other.
significant other. Or
If
anyway,
they
They
Well,
like,
right, son.
if
even
you're
if they're not
phoning them
significant.
and they like the voice party, you know it's something real.
There you go.
Very
That
true.
should be our new catchphrase. If you're boning them and they like the voice party, you know it's something real.
Right.
Jesus, I don't have anything to add to that. That was awesome. Thank you for man. I don't want to take too much of your time, but so where can people listen again on your Facebook?
You guys can tune in on beccamedia.net /
BeccaMedia.net.
KSFS Radio. Next semester is going to be a little interesting because I actually was not able to take the class next semester because it conflicts with my minor, which is one last class that I need. So we went through this whole ordeal. This semester I was manager of production / operations, and it was really, really a great time. My team really came out with a lot of content for social media, and we were actively working, on stuff like that behind the scenes, right? It's a student-run radio station, so we all have our departments. And next semester I won't be able to be manager, so I'm a little bummed out. But I went to go talk to the professor, and he was like, well, you can still have a show.
Okay.
So at least I'll still have a show. So yeah, look out next semester, starting probably around February. I'll come back and start another season of either La Mera Hora, or who knows if I'll rebrand. Probably not. But I do want to start bringing in maybe live bands to play at the studio and see what I can do with that. And we'll definitely get together next semester for you guys to come through and check out the studio.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm
Yeah,
down.
if you guys are willing to come out.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
yeah.
thank you for your time. I appreciate you
Yay,
bringing your friend
Leslie.
also. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you guys. You guys can also follow me on Instagram. That's at la.meraora. So keep in tune. Tune in, you guys.
Right on. Well, that's been the Voice Party. Thank you for tuning in. We're out.
Thank you.
Bye.